Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I'm your co-host, Julietta, coming to you from sunny Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I am a physical therapist. I own Body and Soul PT. I'm also known as the Magical PT because I make magic happen on my table. And I have a very alternative, holistic practice where I look at a lot of different things that PTs don't always look at. And I laugh because a lot of my clients say, do you think I should see a PT too? I'm like, where do you think you are? But yes, I'm very non-traditional. I also am I'll just say I'm an artist. I make jewelry and sometimes I paint, but all of that is also very healing related as well. I work with crystals and gemstones because I love the healing vibe that they give out, and my paintings are typically spiritual, metaphysical, symbolism kind of stuff, all that good stuff. And I'm joined here by my lovely co-host, Allison.
Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Mancini, and I'm also coming to you all from South Florida. Is it sunny out? I can't even tell from my office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just returned from Michigan where it was cold. It was cold. At night, we woke up. Well, I know. We woke up one morning. It was like 58. I'm like, I don't know if I love this or I hate this. I'm not totally sure. But anyways, I am the operations and human resources director for a company called the Gold Digger Girl. The Gold Digger Girl is a company where we help women show up authentically on social media and help them build their businesses, whatever that looks like for them. And I absolutely love supporting the staff there, supporting all of our clients. And I am also certified holistic nutritionist. And so very much a love for the healing side of things and more alternative natural ways of doing that. I'm a mom to two. I have a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old. He's almost 26. I can't even believe that. That's craziness. And married to my husband for 28 years. And we have two very crazy young dogs. So if you hear barking or anything in the background, that would be them. And I think that pretty much covers it in a nutshell.
Awesome. So who is sponsoring this amazing show?
Yes, we have an amazing sponsor. Our sponsor for this show is Rebecca Schaefer. She is the owner of High Vibrations Energy, and she is a Reiki meditation and Kundalini yoga teacher. Her practice is to help people heal from emotional and physical pain and bring one into alignment with their true self. Reiki and Kundalini yoga is a powerful combination that can be used to heal subconscious patterns, strengthen the nervous system, activate the neutral mind, and bring one to higher levels of consciousness. You can visit highvibrationsnow.com to learn more and book a Reiki session, participate in Cosmic Kundalini and Reiki Healing Circle, or register for an upcoming Kundalini yoga class. And I think the coolest thing about what she does is she does Reiki virtually, which I think is amazing because that is not always the case. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you could benefit from working with Rebecca.
And this girl is the real deal. I've had Reiki from her. I've participated in her classes. And as someone who's been in the energy world for a very long time, this girl's seriously gifted. So I highly recommend you check her out. Awesome. So you told me you were experiencing some lack of kindness, Allison. I want to know more.
So, we just flew to Michigan from South Florida. We flew up last week. We had to go for a quick weekend. and flew back. And I was just really like, typically when I go to Michigan, it's such a different, and you know this because you're from Wisconsin, like everyone's always so nice. It's like this big, like, it's almost like a culture shock every time I go back now because everyone's so nice. And I was really shocked when like the first few encounters we had when we actually got to Michigan were not so nice. I was like, what's going on here? And it kind of proceeded that way. I mean, overall, everyone was as kind, you know, as they usually are. But there were a few cases where I want to just look at these people and just be like, dude, just like relax, like just be kind. My thing always is, and I realize this goes both ways. You don't know what that person's been going through. So I always try to give a little grace in that regard because I had one woman wait on me at a bakery that is like this local bakery we go to all the time. And you could tell she was pissed. And it wasn't me. It was whatever was happening in the background. But holy cow, I just want to look at her and go, just relax. It's like, it's going to be okay. Like, it's not that bad. But man, she could barely even like talk to me. She was so mad at whatever was going on. You know what I mean? But I know I did feel really bad for her. And I just kept trying to be like she was just really like snarky with me. Like I was trying to order some fudge to take home and they just had the big blocks of fudge. And she's like, well, how much do you want? And I'm like, cause you know, usually they give it it's already pre-sliced. Right. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, how do you just cut it in slices? She literally goes from one end to the other. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so can you like, what's typical? And then like, just totally like, he grabs this big block of fudge and walks over to me and takes a knife and's like, this is a quarter. And I'm like, okay, that helps me. Okay, so how about if we do a half? And she's like, oh, goes over, like slams the block of fudge down. I mean, she was not happy. I was just like, what the heck? But
well, I'm thinking, how can you not be happy being around fudge?
That's what I'm thinking. She works in a bakery with all this like amazing goodness. And, you know, I just think she probably works very hard and because it's a small town, she probably doesn't make a ton of money and just having a bad day. And I just kept thinking in my head, okay, just don't react back. Like, don't feed off that energy. Just keep being kind. And I did. By the time I was done, I'm like, thank you so much for all of your help. And she was like, all right, have a good night. And she just finally kind of like calmed down. But it's interesting though, right? And that wasn't the only instance. Like we ran into other stuff. We were at the Detroit airport and we're on the freaking car rental shuttle to the car rental place. And you know, those things you can't hear in those. You sit all the way in the back and you cannot hear a thing. And the guy got mad at me because I couldn't hear him. I'm like, what? I'm like, people, come on. It was crazy. So anyways, just be kind. Just cry.
Always choose kindness. And I just always have to point out, you know, we have this company that owns a bunch of restaurants down here in Southeast Florida called the Be Nice Company.
Yes.
And I always want to say, don't be nice, be kind. Because it's a subtle difference, but there is a difference. So
yeah, because being nice, you can be like snarky nice, right? Like you can be sarcastically nice, but being kind is different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was my experience. That's my PSA for today. Just be kind.
Be kind, please. All right.
Ready to bring our guest on?
Bring our guest on.
All right. Hello, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Alison. Hi, Juliet. I'm in fits of laughter in the backstage here. It's just the way you delivered that story. I was just crying of laughter. Don't worry. It's the same here in Melbourne as well. People can be nice or they can be kind. But I agree with Julieta. How could you possibly be angry when you're in the hands or the presence of fudge, for God's sake? Anyway, it was good to make me laugh because I'm in that mindset now. So it's all good.
Awesome. Well, welcome to our show. We are so happy that you're here. And we'd love for you to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I'm based in Melbourne in Australia, and I'm a personal branding specialist and an online business specialist combined. I help industry experts systemize, digitalize, and commercialize their knowledge, wisdom, and skill set into a brand and also into a coaching or a consulting business. And typically the people I work with, they're looking at, at unpacking their genius zone, if you will, and converting that into a coaching program. So that's who I do. I serve industry experts. I only work with people who have a minimum of 10,000 hours dedicated to their specialization. And I just love what I do. I really wrap it up with energetics and looking at masculine and feminine systems and merging them together. And it's just magical. Very nice to call that my vocation.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we are going to dive into our questions. And the first one that we would love to know, and this question intrigues me even more when we have guests that are not based in the US. So what is one book that you wish every goddess would read and why?
Oh my God. There's just so many books, I think, because I'm one of those weird people that can read Christian books and get really into it. And I can also read, I don't like self-help books, but I love philosophy books. So probably, oh my God, you should have given me some time to really think about it. I'm just not quite sure which one I would recommend. In terms of probably Running with the Wolves. I think that's probably the one that I would recommend that everyone reads. I think that's a really, really good book. I think that's probably I think that's the one that I would recommend.
And what is it about that book that makes you want to recommend it?
I think that for me, coming from a corporate landscape, and coming from a masculine system where we're taught how to survive, like literally the whole idea of being in the corporate landscape is all based on survival philosophies, and an approach. And then the people that I work with, because they're transitioning out of corporate, what we tend to do is we tend to stay in that masculine system and way of being. It's all about doing rather than understanding that the merging of the being is also very, very important. So what I find, Giulietta, is a lot of people are really excited. They're unpacking their genius. They're building systems, their coaching programs, their websites, their lead generation strategies. And then but they're actually continuing that masculine system approach, and you do end up in a dead end, because in a masculine system, 1 + 1 can only equal 2. It can't equal 3. There's no room for 3, 4, 5. There's no possibilities. It's all based on, outcomes, and rigid outcomes as well. So when I work with people, I always try and incorporate the feminine system, where it's really getting them to a point of embodying what they've just created, but also going one step further and really self-actualizing who they truly are at that core level. And when you can see those two things merging together, it's just such a beautiful, way of seeing this individual evolve from this masculine into starting to open up into that feminine space. And it's just, I think it's very important. So that book really is about the self-actualization of of that feminine energy.
Yeah, we're all about the feminine energy.
I know. I'm in the right place. I know that for sure.
So our next question is, in women these days, well, and not even just these days, historically, like, we're always taking care of everybody else and we forget to take care of ourselves. So our second question is, what is your favorite self-care practice and how does it support you?
Yeah, this has actually been a work in progress for me, and I think that a lot of women, we forget to actually the importance of self-care and self-importance as well. For me, self-care is really just taking time out to be with myself. I love being with myself. I love the ability to just sit for 2 or 3 hours and to journal, doing even things like, like I have my weekly manicures and pedicures. I love doing those things that really embrace the feminine, the woman in me. I find it so, there's a real deliciousness about it. Even being in a salon with women, I absolutely love. I love the hype. I love the banter that goes on. I love it all because I'm in an environment where I'm encapsulated in that whole feminine. We're all there for the same reason, most of us. So I do a lot of, like beauty self-care, but I also do a lot of soul self-care as well. And I think that's very important, like really taking my time out to do my rituals each morning, my meditation, my journaling. This is my time, and that's very sacred, and nobody can, can come in that space. Even this morning, my husband called me and he just does this dump on me. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Like, that's not okay. You can't just call me and dump. Like, I did not give you permission to do that. And so I've got, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. And then I sent him a message and I said, that's just like a no-go zone. Like, that's just unacceptable. And I just need to set my boundary that just don't do that again. And I was like, yes, I felt so good doing that. But it's things like that I think are really important.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in morning time to yourself to get ready for your day, like journaling, meditating, all that stuff. Well, so we're both the same way. Yeah, we're 100% big believers in all of that. So our next question for you is, so we all have those days. We wake up and we're just not feeling it. Maybe we didn't sleep well the night before. Maybe we just had an argument with our partner or our loved one, or our kids are driving us, whatever it is. And we wake up, but we still know we have to show up for our clients and for the people around us. So what tools do you have that you use for yourself when you're not quite feeling it that day to get yourself so that you are feeling it that day?
Do you know what, Alison? I actually don't do anything in that situation. I love silence because in the space of silence, that's where a lot of my ideas come. And also I've become very comfortable in the uncomfortable, if that makes sense. So if I'm, emotional about something, or something has triggered me and there's an emotional response, I really want to understand why I'm triggered. Like, I'm really intrigued by that. And it's become my curiosity. It's like, well, why am I constantly reacting to that? So I really take time out in that space of silence, really self-inquire. And this is something that I've been doing for years and years and years. And it has served me incredibly well, because we know that in the space of being in silence, that we can hear like ideas and thoughts that just come rushing. It's like the downloads that you are like, where did that just come from? So I don't do anything. I like to sit still. And I'm transitioning as well at the moment. In the last few weeks, I've just really noticed a big shift in myself. And I've been spending a lot of time in that space of silence, even just sitting up on my bed in the mornings and in the evenings, and just really contemplating and asking really big questions, asking for directions, doing a lot of healing work. I invest a lot of time, effort, and of course investment in mentors and coaches and healing. I really believe in that. I truly do. I can't do it on my own. And I think that the work that you do, Julietta does, I really honor that, because you need these type of people in your life to be able to help you move that one step forward.
And I love that you said that. As someone who works with coaches, you also work with coaches yourself. Like, absolutely, you get them for yourself. And I love that, because so many times people are like, oh, like they're surprised to find out, like the woman that I work for, she has coaches for herself and she works with coaches. Like, but that's what you need to do that for growth and to be able to support the people that you're supporting. So I love that. So our last question to you before we kind of wrap things up is, what is one, there could be many, but what is one life experience that really kind of propelled you to where you're at right now, that got you where you are?
yes, I have a very defining moment about that experience. And that was 3 hours after my second son was born, lying in the hospital bed, and then I reached out to get my lip balm and my business card fell out on the bed. And at that time, I owned a software company, which I had for 7 years. And when I just held that business card that fell on the bed, it was as though like I was just watching this 3D movie. And suddenly I just realized, oh my God, my whole life has been a series of labels. Like this business card is actually defining who I am and how I show up in the world today. And then I don't know, something must happen to women when we give birth. I have no idea. But for me, it was just like this, what the, WTF moment. And it was like, oh my God, my whole life. And the true reason when I really, really got serious and honest with myself, the true reason why I started that software company is because I was so desperately looking for validation from my parents. And all I wanted to hear my parents say to me right up until that point, this is my adult life, right? Mary, we're so proud of you, even though you didn't finish your degree. Whoa, that was massive. And I also knew, Alison, from that moment that I would resign from my own company and never go back because I knew that was not my sole purpose. And it's exactly what I did. I resigned from my own company. That was on 8th of September at 3:30 p.m. I had that epiphany. And then 2 weeks later, I resigned from my company. January 2012, I took a 12-month sabbatical. And I had two amazing mentors. One was a professor in philosophy from Oxford University who mentored me for 12 months. And the other one was an expert in the emotional body. And that's what I needed at that time. But it changed the trajectory of my whole life. Wow. And so that was the turning point that allowed me to fully self-actualize that what I do today is what I'm meant to be doing, because it's 100% based on my genius zone, like my knowledge, my wisdom, my skill, my gifts, my talents. None of it is based on reading 2 books. It is genuinely 40,000 hours packed into what I do today.
I love that how you said your genius zone, because like we all have those things that they are our genius zone. And I think so many times we let that go to the wayside and don't realize that you can make a living based on what that is. Like you absolutely can. So I love that you said that. And it's so true. Something totally happens to you after you have kids. I'm not even sure what it is. Like you give birth and you like lose your head. I don't even know. It's crazy. All right. Our very, very last thing we would like to ask you is if there's one thing you would want our audience to take away from our time with you today, what would that be?
To just fully realize that every single one of us, men and women, especially women, we all are sitting on a gold mine. And that gold mine is made up of your knowledge, your wisdom, your skills, your gifts, and your talents. And that is the true currency, not dollars in your bank account, not gold, not silver. The true currency is actually what we have inside ourselves, which I call our internal inventory. And when we can fully self-actualize that into an outcome, I can assure anyone that's listening to this that you are literally sitting on a gold mine, and we just need to unpack it and have the courage to go there.
I love
Beautiful.
That. Yeah. It's awesome.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Mary, for joining us here today. It has been a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you very much.
Also want to send a huge thank you to our sponsor, Rebecca Schaefer. She is an incredible Reiki healer, and so thank you so much for sponsoring the show for us. And a huge thank you to our audience, because without you, there's no reason for us to be here. And if you're interested in getting in touch with Mary, Alison, or myself, check out the show notes. All of our contact information is there, and we would love to connect with you. And did I get it all, Alison? All right. With that, I want to wish everybody a magical day.